Hello and welcome back to my craft room. If you happen to be watching our Wednesday Whip and Waffle, that was yesterday as I'm recording this, a couple of days ago, by the time you get to see it, you'll have seen that I had started adding some rainbow colours to this thread that came in my Stitch Kit Craft of the Month box for June. So, this is the box. The boxes, the Stitch Kit boxes are always this size. This is the standard box. They're always huge. They're always well filled. They're not always as heavy as this was. And the reason it was so heavy is the weight of this cord that's in here. There were 8 of these, 4 of that colour and 4 of this colour. The focus, the craft for this month, is macrame. There were other things in the box as well. I've got a little one of the little, I love their kit bags. They've been given some of these along with the prizes that they've donated for our giveaways a couple of times, and I did get one in a box, but it went off with the bunny as a prize. I love these little kit bags. I'm very glad to have one, and I'm going to keep this one myself. I've also got a hoop to make a Dreamcatcher. I've got a tape measure. I've got a pair of scissors in here somewhere. Let's keep those out. I'm going to put the box out of the way now. I do need this. And there's also a set of tapestry needles, but I've got them downstairs because I've been sewing up my jumper from last month. So I'm going to be ringing the changes with the box a bit this month, and that's partly because I think it's a nice idea to just think, well, if you subscribe, because you can save money by subscribing to these boxes, but of course, you know, it's always going to be a surprise then, and maybe sometimes you'll get something you're not so keen on having a go at. So I'm going to change it up. I'm not going to do the Rachel put in enough stuff to do 2 of the projects, Dreamcatcher, which is what I'm going to be starting on today, and also a really big project which is a table runner, and there's enough stuff there to make it a really long table runner. And I love the idea and I love the colours that she's put in, but I'm thinking I'm going to do a different project, partly because I want it to be something small enough that I can fit onto my desk so I can show it on camera, but I still want it to be a bigger project, a bit more of a challenge than I've done with macrame before. I've only ever done really small things before, so I think instead of the table runner, I'm going to be making, I found a couple of different tutorials I really fancy having a go at, to make bags, kind of semi like almost a tote, almost a kit bag, kind of almost a backpack kind of bags. I've seen a couple that I really like, so I'm going to choose one of those, but I'm going to start with the Dreamcatcher. Now for the Dreamcatcher, let me take you to the desk and show you. For the Dreamcatcher, they provided this yarn, this Serdar cotton double knitting. There's 100 grams here. To make the Dreamcatcher, apparently you only need 50 grams. So this book also came in the box, and so I've got materials to make this Dreamcatcher. It's a lovely book. It takes you through all the different knots and techniques, all kinds of useful information in there, and then it's dotted with different projects that you can do as you go along. As you progress through the book, you can do more and more difficult projects. So I love this Dreamcatcher. I think, is there an actual photo of it as well? Yes, there we are. And it does look really nice in just the natural colours, but you know me and my colours. So what I started doing yesterday on the live was taking roughly half of this. I might not have done quite as much as half of it, and I've started adding colour to it using my Inktense blocks. I've been using them to colour sewing threads for our community quilt project, so I thought, well, it worked just as well to add to some of this to make me a rainbow Dreamcatcher. And this is this yarn with the rainbow Inktense colours. I've left this to dry overnight, so it's all now permanent, which is lovely, and I'm ready to make a start on the project. So I'm rigging the changes in a couple of ways. I'm going to be adding colour to the yarn they've provided, and I'm going to be doing a slightly different project that will probably only use half of the cord that they've put in there. So with the leftover cord, I might even do something completely different, like a crocheted project, a storage basket, using the same cord but with crochet instead, just to show that, you know, if you do get one of these boxes and it's not completely your cup of tea, you don't have to do exactly what it says, what they've laid out. You can adapt it to suit what you enjoy doing. I always do that with subscription boxes. I always think you can do whatever you like with it. It's your box now, do whatever makes you happy. And most of these things can be used in different ways to put your own spin on it, which I always think is fun. So that's what I'm very much going to be doing this month. I'm really excited to get to know macrame a bit better. Like I say, I've only ever done really small projects before, so I think I will really enjoy this challenge. So let's put the ink tents out the way now. Done with them for a minute. By the way, just in case Viviana happens to be watching this, she was asking about could you use the ink tents to dye lace, and I've done it with cotton lace before, I've done it with silk fabrics, wool, all kinds of natural things, but I thought I'll try it on synthetic lace as well in case that's what she means. And as you can see, it colours it really, really well. I wouldn't run this through a washing. I wouldn't expect to be able to wash it. I think they would stay permanent pretty well, but whether they'd lose some vibrancy if you did that. But usually I'm doing this kind of thing for slow stitching projects that aren't the kind of thing that you'd be putting through the washing machine anyway. I believe that the Inktense website actually says if you use them to colour fabrics, you should just wash them in cold water. Don't use detergents and things, because that, you know, that could wash the colour out, I guess. But as I say, not normally a problem with slow stitching type of projects. So I've got everything that I need. I'm kind of ready to go. I think the first thing I need to do is perhaps wind this off into a ball so that I can lay my first threads out. So I'm going to do that a minute off camera. It'll take me a couple of minutes just to wind this into a ball, and then when I'm ready to start, I'll be back. So I always love to start a new project, and I always love trying a new craft. So yeah, itching to go now. It takes a bit of patience winding all that into balls, because it somehow manages to tangle itself up, but that's how I'm looking now. So if you want to know a bit more about how I went from this to that using the Inktense blocks, I'll try and remember to link, but I did a video just a couple of days ago showing how I took various kinds of plain white threads and used Inktense blocks to turn them into these. So if you want to know a bit more about how I did that, that's the video to watch. I would also advocate watching Create and Craft with Christine, who's tried all sorts of other markers and all kinds of things to add colour to threads. So if you want some more ideas and you haven't got Inktense, check out Christine's channel as well. So I'm ready to start my Dreamcatcher. I'm not sure if I've coloured enough of this yarn, but I'm hoping I'll be able to make a start today, and if needs be I'll do a bit more of the thread. I wanted to leave some white because I might do a white one as well. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I'm just so loving adding colour at the moment. So the book takes you through all of the different knots and things, so rather than work my way through the book and get to a point where I'm ready to make the Dreamcatcher, I'm just going to jump in, as is my wont. And as I come across a new knot that I don't already know, I will go back and refer to the appropriate part in the book. All sorts of little tips here. If you're substituting, check the strength of the yarn before you begin, because it needs to be really strong so it won't snap when you pull on it. I think this is going to fit the bill. You also need a tape measure, scissors and a pen. Well, they put everything, they put all of that in the kit. Well, not a pen, but you know, obviously I've got pens. Order of work. A. Weave the cord to create the Dreamcatcher face. Pages 58 to 61. So that's the first thing to do then. Here's page 58, making the Dreamcatcher face. Imagine that the wooden hoop is a clock face and mark the points at every hour running around the edge. There will be 12 points in total. Right, so 12 o'clock. 6, 9. I'm not going to worry about being super accurate, but okay, I reckon that's accurate enough. Embrace the wonk and all that. Step 2, measure 4.5 meters of cord and thread the darning needle. Okay, I need to grab one of the darning needles they've given me. I've been using that downstairs to stitch my jumper from last month together. While making this Dreamcatcher face, you need to keep the cord taut at all times. Okay, this looks pretty straightforward. I need to go and get one of the needles they've given me. There we go, it's a little set of needles. I've never used ones like this before, these cable-ended needles. Lovely and easy to thread, and they're just kind of tubular steel. 3 different sizes. I think I'm going to go with this middle size. See how we get on. So 4.5 meters of my yarn. Right, so saying this is 12 o'clock. I'm going to tie it there with a double knot. Okay, turn the hoop over so my hour markings will be on the other side. I feel this is too long to use with a needle yet. I'm going to see if I can do it without actually threading it through a needle yet, but that might be stupid there. I might regret that. Over the top of the hoop from front to back. Okay, so from front to the back, bring it back through the loop you've created. So there's the loop I've created. I'm going to bring it back through there. Pull on the loop to tighten and position the cord at 1 o'clock. Okay, and I've got to pull it taut at all times, so there's 1 o'clock. I feel like it might want to slip on the metal hoop a bit more than it would have on a wooden one, so do you know what? I'm going to just cheat slightly until I get going and put a little bit of tape here to hold this on at the 12 o'clock position. And now I'm going over the top of the hoop, back through the loop, and this time I'm going to put it taut at 2 o'clock. There's my 2 o'clock mark. There we go. Easy peasy so far. I'll work my way around the whole clock face. So ideally, I guess you want these to be roughly even, but I'm not going to worry about it too much if they're not completely equal. I can probably adjust them a little bit as I go. Something very relaxing and therapeutic about anything for me that involves weaving, knotting, or actually unknotting. I find it strangely relaxing to get a pile of tangled threads and sort them out. So I think this month as well I will very much enjoy learning more about macrame, but this month I'm going to make it, as well as being about macrame, I'm going to definitely just put my own spin, just show some examples of putting my own little spin on the box. So if you're having these boxes and you get one where you think, oh, I'm not sure about this one, not sure if that's my cup of tea or I want to do it, you can always change it. You can make it, you can use the supplies. They're your supplies, then it's your box. Do what you like with it. I think you have to keep an open mind about these things if you're going to subscribe to like an art subscription box or craft subscription box like this. You have to be open-minded to try something different, and quite often it will get you trying things you've never thought of having a go at before. Well, I'm quite pleased with how that's going so far. Okay, so what do we do when we get up to this next bit? All the way up to 11 o'clock. So that's step 6 I've just already done. Then you pass the darning needle through the 12 o'clock position from right to left twice. Check the wrong side of the hoop to make sure all of the loops are positioned in the correct position, and adjust as necessary. So now I'm going to have to take my little bit of tape off, and I will have to put this through the darning needle. It's quite a long piece of thread. This is going to take a little bit of patience. See, I've already got it in a tangle, look. And I'm going to go through that knot at 12 o'clock from right to left twice. Oh, I've pulled it quite tight. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I have to unknot it to do that. Oh, it did say to pull everything tight, so I did. Okay, we're there. So this is the first pass. I've got to pull this all the way through because there's a lot of yardage here at this stage. All the way through. Loving the colours of this thread now. And it said from left to right twice. Oh, sorry, from right to left twice. I'm going round again. And pull it all the way through again. And it just needs to be done quite slowly, because when I've got all of this length of thread to deal with, it's going to get in a tangle otherwise. So take my time, chill out. So loving these colours. There we go. So I've gone through that initial starting loop from the right hand side to the left twice, and now I'm going to check the position of the thingies on the back. They've kind of all gone a little bit one way, but they're still evenly spaced, so I'm happy enough with that. But you can, yeah, you can adjust them. You just adjust where the loops are. I guess once you do this second round now, you're not going to be able to adjust it again after that, I guess. Alright, so that's that bit done. I'm leaving that bit there for a minute. Still got my needle threaded up. What's the next step? Step 8. Take the needle behind the cord between 12 and 1 o'clock positions and through the loop you have created. Put on the cord to secure and position the cord midway between the 12 and 1 o'clock positions. So here's 12 o'clock, here's 1 o'clock. I'm going to put my needle through there. This is the loop that they're talking about. So I'm going to pull this all the way through. Kind of feel like I could do it with the yarn still kind of in a ball again until it gets a bit shorter. I think the trick is going to be to not try and go too fast. I reckon I'll be able to get this through these little gaps for now, until this yarn gets it short enough to be more manageable. Because 4.5 meters is a lot to pull all the way through with a needle each time. So I'm going to try it this way, see how I get on. There may be a good reason why not to do it this way, but okay. Yeah, so I position the cord midway between the two, between 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock. And now go around the hoop again. So I'm going into this one next. It's a little bit tricky to get it through there, but not as tricky as pulling all of that length through, I think. And it'll get easier as I go along. Oops, missed going through the loop that time. Well, I hate to speak too soon, but it's a piece of cake so far. So I'm going up over the top of this, coming out underneath, but over the top of this loop that I've created. So it just catches each time. Easy peasy. Under there, over the loop, get it roughly to the centre point between those two and pull. The thread's coming unravelled now, but it's okay, it'll be fine. So go all around the hoop, finish by passing the darning needle through from the right to the left side in the position between the 12 and 1 o'clock hoops where you started this round, so it'll be there. From this point forward you'll work clockwise around the hoop, repeating this step. And once you've been 10 times around the hoop and the centre hole is no more than 3 centimetres wide, you'll need to close it. Okay, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I'm basically just repeating this process now. I like the sort of coppery colour metal hoop with the with these colourful threads. It would look nice with the plain white as well. You could also, it'd look quite nice to tea or coffee stain this thread actually. Give it a sort of vintage look. I'd also, that's one idea I had, that's why I didn't want to colour all of the thread. I had the idea of maybe doing it all in the white thread, but then applying the Inktense colour after I've made the Dreamcatcher. Somebody suggested that in the chat yesterday, and then I could do like an ombre effect all the way down, in perhaps just in blues and greens or something, or rainbow. But yeah, so that's why I've not sort of coloured all of the thread yet, because I might do something different for the next one. So it seems like I've got enough to do 2 of these, and I've got more hoops. I'm sure I've got hoops somewhere. I can get a hoop easily enough. Right, so now I've come around to that point where I started. So now I go right to left twice through where I first started. So I'm assuming it's in here, underneath and over here. So I'm going to go like this and do that twice again. Yeah, that's my right to left, and then it did say twice, didn't it? Well, it didn't say twice this time, so maybe it's just once then this time. Don't know why I've got a double there. Why have I got a double there? Have done something daft. Oh well, hey ho, we'll soon find out. It's going to have personality, my Dreamcatcher, if nothing else. I don't know, now I feel like it should be here. I think we're just going to have to do it and find out. That's it. I think we're on a roll now, mate. Keep pulling it taut. Sorry for the clattering noise. I think the metal of this hoop on my glass mat is probably not helpful. The yarn is now sort of manageable enough that I can pull it all through with the needle without too much hassle. So I'm just going to keep going round and round like this till I get to the point where the hole in the middle is quite small. That's not going to take me very long by the look of it, is it? Okay, I'm going to keep doing that, and when I get to the middle, I'll be back. Right, I'm just popping back because I've decided to introduce another little touch of my own. I've been itching for an excuse to use these gorgeous skull bees. Now, I'm really sorry, but I can't remember which lovely person sent me this bag of beads. That's so rude of me not to remember. I absolutely love them. They're all little skulls. They've got lovely big holes through them, and they've got all the colours in that I've been using to colour my thread. So I'm going to dot these around, because one of the things, the story I understand about Dreamcatchers is that this part is for catching all the good dreams. The hole in the middle is where all the bad dreams, it lets all the bad dreams out that hole in the middle. So so I think it's okay to have skulls in there. Any excuse anyway, any excuse. So I don't know whether to do them in a regular ring, one on each thing around this ring, or I think I might just dot them around. Just make it a bit more random than that. And I think I'll match them to the colour of thread that I'm on at the time, rather than use a contrasting colour, just so it's not completely leery. I might end up wishing that I'd started introducing them at the start. I don't know. We'll see. And of course, the holes go top to bottom of the skull, so they're going to be lined on their side, but I don't think that matters. I just think that's cute. And that's the kind of thing I mean about, there's nothing wrong with giving it your own spin. I could use I've got other beads here I pulled out as well. I've got this one. I might see if there's a way I can introduce this into the fringing, or possibly right into the centre. Most of these pieces in here, except for that, I don't know how that's ended up there, came off of a pair of sandals my sister was wearing, and they broke. Not these ones, this was a necklace that broke actually. But these all came, and I've used them on various projects over the years. So she was about to scoop them all up and throw them in the bin, and I remember saying, no, I can find a use for those, and I have gradually. And these little things that have the loops, the holes, the 2 holes, I'm just wondering if I can incorporate them somehow in the dangling parts. That would be quite fun. So I've got those. Yeah, there's other beads I've got here, just random ones from broken things, or So it's just really, as long as the bead has a hole big enough to take the thread through. That'd look really pretty with these ones, wouldn't they? I could add whatever I like to it. I could put some bells in amongst the... Yeah! So, yes, I just thought I'd come back and share that, and now I'm going to continue. I'll be back. Right, I'm finished going round. I don't think mine looks quite like it does in the picture, but I'm perfectly happy with it. I'm not completely convinced about my skulls either. I think my tension isn't quite tight enough in this. I think that's what I think. My little loops are looking quite loopy. If they don't look like that in the picture, let me show you. So I think it's probably about my tension, I think, but that's okay because I like the look of it, and that's what matters. And I ended up just keeping going in a spiral, and instead of keep coming to that point where you went back through left to right twice, I just ended up keeping going in a spiral, which is probably also wrong, but hey ho. So now when you come to the end, so it says to close the center hole, take your needle under the next stitch, bringing it out through the centre hole. Repeat another 12 times. So the next stitch, I'm assuming they mean here. Then you pull on the cord firmly to close the circle. Okay, I'm just going to do that. So 1. So another 12 times. That's 1 time. 2. Well, I'm not even sure I've gone round the right bits there, but let's keep our fingers crossed. So I think I've gone round so 13 times altogether, and now I'm going to pull on this cord, and hopefully that will close the centre. Keep everything crossed for me. Oh yeah, it's okay, that's okay. I mean, it's not perfect, is it? But I don't think you're going to notice it not being perfect. Kind of feel like I'm just going to go around this one a couple more times, and then you secure the cord by taking the needle in and out of the centre stitches until you're confident it will hold its position, and then trim away any excess cord. Okay, confident, that's a strong word. This is kind of the right side now as well, isn't it? Maybe I should be doing this on the reverse. It doesn't say that, but I'm just going round and round this thing until I feel happy with it, really. And it hasn't ended up perfectly central either, but I don't think that matters. I haven't got a hole in the middle at all now, and I thought that was part of the story, that there needs to be that hole in the middle. But they've almost closed the hole up, so... Well, I think I'm going to risk it for a biscuit and knot this thread off at the back. Eek. Kind of feel like, I said, they didn't mention actually making a knot, but I kind of feel like I want to. Okay, I'm going to snip that off. Just, yeah. Okay, it's done now. Happy with that so far. Right, so I want now 2 pieces 80 centimetres and 2 pieces 3 metres long. Going into my different colours now. Well, I'll be back when I've cut them and I'm ready to start the next bit. Okay, I've cut my pieces. I found the centre of all of them, and then it says to attach them to the right hand side of the hoop, so I'm going to go here using reverse lark's head knot, and I've been back to page 30 to see how to do the reverse lark's head knot, and I think this is it. So I've just got that loop going down there at the centre point of all of them, and I'm just pulling the ends through. Yeah, that's the lark's head knot. What I want is the reverse lark's head knot, which is that one. Let's try that again. Does it? Does it look like the picture? Yes. You will have 4 long cords and 4 short cords. Yes. Position 2 long cords to the left and treat these as chord A. Place 2 long cords to the right and treat these as chord B. The 4 shorter chords remain in the middle and will be used as the 2 central chords. Okay, let's get that. Give myself a bit more space to work here. Right, so I've arranged my chords. So I've got these are my 2 long chords that are on the left. So they're chord A. These 2, the other 2 long ones are on the right. They're chord B. And these ones in the middle are, in effect, the central chord. Then I've got to make a column of half square knots. So I need to go back to page 33 for that. So I keep repeating the half square knot until the twirling column measures approximately 20 centimetres in length. So yeah, I think if you just keep doing it, it automatically spirals. So I just need to quickly learn how to do the half square knot, and I'll be back and show you. Oh, I think it's another piece of cake. Although I did say that about that, and it hasn't come out quite exactly piece of cake-ish, but you know what I mean. So all you do is, if this is chord A, and this is chord B, and these are the centre chords, or these are acting as the centre chord, you take A and lay it over the centre chord and under B, and then you take B under the centre chords and up through the loop that was created by A, and then you pull the knot up till you finish it. So you take chord A on the left, go over the centre chords and under chord B, like that. And then you take chord B on the right and you go under the centre chord and up through from bottom to top, that loop that you created with the left hand chord, and then you just pull them up. And this now becomes chord A and this becomes chord B. And you can see already that's starting to want to twist. So I've just got to do a natural twist. So you just keep going like that until you get the length that you want. It'll be easier once they get a bit shorter. It's also easier if you attach it to something, like back of a chair or something, or back of a door, hook on the back of a door. It's a bit awkward doing it at this angle on, and you need something to kind of pull against ideally. But I'm just trying to do it here for the camera really. I think I will try hanging it on the back of a door or something in a moment. You can see now that's fully beginning to twist. It should be a really pretty effect, I think. It's going to be so colourful, this Dreamcatcher. I'm going to carry on doing exactly the same thing until this is 20 centimetres long. Then I'll be back. Okay, I've made my twirly thing on this side, and I made another twirly thing on this side. As they put it, 3 hours away. So 1, 2, 3 hours away. Now I'm ready to start making my fringy bit in the middle. So for that I've cut 52 pieces of cord, which are 80 centimetres long each. And I've cut all of them. I've got them laid out on my lap, kind of in a colour order, because I don't want all of them to be all mixed up like these two. I want to see some differences in colour between them. So I've got this last little bit left, so I've still got, I don't know how much more I might need, but it looks like hopefully I've got enough coloured to do this project. So I've laid them out kind of in a colour order on my lap. Don't remove them now to show you, but hopefully we'll see as we go along. So what I have to do now is take 2 lengths of cord, put the 2 lengths together, fold them in half, and then make a reverse larkshead knot like this to attach them on here. And I've got to attach all 52 pieces in pairs between here and here, kind of evenly distributed. So reverse larkshead knot again, like that. So I'll have 4 pieces of cord coming out of each one. I'm just going to run along and do that with each of them. Found incidentally that once I actually took this and wedged it under this glass mat, so it was just sort of anchored there, and I sat a distance away so I could pull on it a little bit, and once I started working on these in that way, it just became very comfortable. I was just like knotting away without even really thinking about it, so that's good. Yeah, I've definitely cut some of these at slightly different lengths, but I don't think it's going to be, mostly I've found so far that if anything I've got my lengths I've had, my legs have been cut too long, if that makes sense, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to carry on working my way along here till I've knotted on all of my pieces, and then I'll be back. Okay, so this is what I've got now. I've got 26 knots all along here. I've arranged them in kind of in rainbow order, sort of, and now I'm going to knot I'm going to knot them together in pairs all along with square knots. So to do a square knot, you start off like I just did this one, that was a half square knot. So I'm going to use 2 on the right and 2 on the left, using 4 as my centre cord. So I go over the centre cord and under the right hand cord, and then I take the right hand cord and go under the centre and up through the loop, just like I did with the last one. Pull that up, and then to finish this knot up, this time I'm going to take the right hand, what's now on the right, called A, and I'm going to put it over the 2 centre cords and under cord B, and then cord B is going under the 2 centre cords and up through the loop. So it's kind of the opposite way around this time, and that will, so if I kept doing the half square knot, it would just twist like that, but doing the square knot like this, it would keep it straight. If I went on and on, it would just lie straight. But I'm just going to do 1 knot in the top at the moment of each of these pairs all the way along, so I'll end up with 13 of these little square knots. I'll do 1 more. So here's my pair of knots. As I say, so get a lot easier when I can have it anchored to something up in front of me and tug, and something I can tug against a little bit, and then you just end up with it in your hands, just knotting like that. You don't have to lay it out. I'm just laying it out this way to show you what I'm doing, really, so it makes it look more awkward than it really is. So I'll take 2 of those lengths off to the left and 2 of them off to the right, and then there are 4 left to be the centre cord. So again, I'm taking this left hand one and going over the centre cord. I'm taking the right hand one, and that goes underneath the centre cord and up through this loop that I've made. As I say, when you're doing it for real, you're not sort of laying it out like that, you're just knotting it. You quite quickly get into a rhythm of that. So now to complete it, I'm going to take the cord that's now on the right, so it's cord A, but it's now on the right, and that's going over the centre cord and under the left hand one, which then goes underneath the centre cord and comes up through the loop. So it's kind of mirroring the first part of the knot. There we go, and that's another square knot, so I'm going to do that all the way along. And then I'll be back for the next step. And I might knot in some more little skulls on the way down as well. But I'm going to do this bit first. Okay, I have finished now knotting all around there. I had to stop this yesterday to get on with other things, but I think I've got time to just finish this now before we go live later on. So I haven't got much time left today, but I think I can manage to get this finished off. So this is the pattern that we're going to be following, and what I'd quite like to do is to put some more of these little skulls in at the kind of almost at the points of the little triangles there, because I just think that would be cute. I also kind of think I'd like to see if I can do a row. I've got this much left of the coloured yarn. See if I can do a row of kind of almost a blanket stitch around there. So it looks like that just kind of continues all the way around. This might be just enough. Just love how those colours came out. Look at that. But yeah, so these are the knots. This is what I've done. I've just done step 3, and these are now my knots numbered 1 to 13 all the way along. Missing the 4 left hand cords from square knot 1, so this is square knot 1. So I'm going to miss the 4 left hand cords, 1, 2, 3, 4, and using the 4 right hand cords from square knot 1 and 4 left hand cords from square knot 2, you do the same thing again, tie a square knot. So basically I'm using the right hand side, the right hand 4 strands of that first knot, and the left hand 4 strands of that second knot. Let's get the others out of my way, and I'm going to do a square knot here. Easy peasy. So those will become my centre cord. Here's my left hand cord A and my right hand cord B. So when I come to that point where I want to add the skulls in, what I'm thinking is I think there's room. They're quite big holes. Let's just have a look at one. They're quite big holes. I think I can easily get 2 strands through there, so I'm thinking the 2 centre strands would go through. So that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do when I get to that point down here. But I don't need to do that yet. Okay, so can I still remember my square knot? No, I'm going to have to go back to that. What was that? 33. Okay, there's another square knot. Okay, so that's that bit done. And now I'm going to take the 4 right hand cords from this knot and the 4 left hand cords from the next one. I think there's something about making and undoing knots that soothes the human psyche in some way, or for some of us it does. Some people it probably drives them nuts, but for me I love it. I believe, was it Georgian times? A few centuries back anyway, there was a hobby which was just for very rich people, which I believe was called something like ravelling, where they would take expensive handmade, because it all would have been handmade back in those days, braid and such like, and the hobby was to unknot undo the braid and turn it back into just thread. What a strange thing, but I can kind of understand it. I must look that up and see if I can find out anything else. I've read about that years ago and I can't remember the details, but I think it would hurt me to do that, but I can kind of understand it. What a terrible thing though, really, when you think that would have been done in times when other people were starving and living really poor, while some very rich people could afford to spend their days unravelling expensive braid. This is easy peasy, isn't it? So I'm going to take now the 4 right hand strands from that knot, would have been knot 3 in my original row, and the 4 left hand strands from the next one, put all the others out the way. Oh, I've got 5 there, I don't want 5. 2 from each to become the centre cord, and then 2 on the left and 2 on the right. And once I'm not doing this in front of the camera and I've got it in front of me here, anchored here, so I can pull against it, I won't be kind of laying it out like this. I'll be knotting it like I was just now. It does look a bit awkward laying it out like this, but I'm just trying to show what I'm doing, really. You know, I do love how these colours worked out. I really do. I'm ever so chuffed with that. Just gave it a little extra layer of interest for me doing that, making it my own, you know. Now, how many times am I supposed to do this? I mustn't get carried away and get all the way along, because that's not the idea. The thing is, if you do go wrong, it's very easy to unknot it and go back to where you were anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'll repeat across the row. In this case I am going all the way across, but I'm going to end up missing the 4 cords from that last square knot in the first row, so I'll be missing those in the same way as I'm missing these. Other than that, I'm going to work all the way along doing this, and then I think in the next row I'll be leaving these out here to start creating these triangles. Right, I've gone all the way across again, so that was row 2. Now I'm doing row 3, so I'm gonna miss the first 4 cords, the left hand 4 cords from that first knot in my previous row. Put all them to one side, and now I'm taking the 4 right hand cords in that knot and the 4 left hand cords in the next one, and again making them into a square knot. Okay, so that's my first knot in row 3. So I'm working on row 3 now. I just need to do 2 more of those knots. I'm enjoying the way the colours are gradually going across. This cotton yarn is lovely and soft. Was it Sirdar, wasn't it? Is it Sirdar? Sirdar cotton DK. Feels lovely. And the nice thing about the Inktense is it doesn't change the texture of them at all. You know, they feel just the same. Okay, so I'm just focusing on this left hand, what will become the left hand triangle now. So I've got 1 more to do for that left hand triangle. Okay, and I need to remember to bring my little skulls in a moment. So that's my 3 square knots for this first left hand triangle. 3 square knots in row 3. I think where I'm going to try and add my skull is just here in this bit, just as I go down into that last row. So I feel like I don't even need the instructions at the moment. All I'm going to be doing is leaving out the first 4 strands again like before, put them to one side, and this time I'm going to make 2 square knots. So I'm really just following the diagram now rather than the written instructions. I may come to regret that, but I don't think so. It seems fairly instinctive at the moment. That is my left hand triangle almost done. I've done rows 1, 2, 3 and 4, so I'm going to go into row 5 now, and this is where I want to add the little skull in, if I can. We'll see if this works out. So I'm going to put the first 4 from that last row to one side with all the others, and the last 4 as well. There we go. So these are the threads I'm going to be using. Those will become my centre cord. So I'm going to see if I can get these 2 very central ones both down through the skull bead. The set of needles came in the kit as well, so that's really handy. And it's nice that it's got these big cable loop ends, so very easy to thread with any thickness, and it will go through that hole in the bead really easy. Oh, hang on, have I done that the right way? Wait a minute, now I want to go that way up. Scissors also came in the kit. They really do make sure you get everything you need. You can of course ask them to customise your box without the tools and things, so if you don't want to get the crochet hooks or the scissors or the, you know, if you would rather have the consumable materials like the yarn and or fabric or whatever it happens to be, and not any of the tools, you can customise your box accordingly. Well, they all went through really easily, and I think it's probably going to look neater if I put all 4 lengths through those beads. Lovely. Okay, so now I'll make the rest of the square knot as before. I think this will look cute. It's cute in my eyes. We all have different eyes though, don't we? There we go. go, and he'll just be peeking out. I think that'll look. There we go, that's my last square knot of that left hand triangle. So how does my little skull look? Oh, he looks cute in there, look. I like that. So I just need to make another 2 triangles now, and then I'm nearly done. I'm going to see if I can go around here and do this kind of I forgot what the knot is called, but it's almost like you would make a blanket stitch, and just so that it just wraps this all the way around. It might just be enough, because I think that would finish it off nicely. I'm going to get this now so that it's anchored in front of me, and I can do it a bit more easily. Just popping back to show you how I'm doing this, in case anyone's interested. It's very straightforward. It's almost like a blanket stitch, really, a bit like you would do around the ring of before you make a Dorset button. It's kind of like that. That's what I'm doing. Holding my yarn out there, I've got it all in a little ball here. I had to cut it into 2 pieces because it was too big to comfortably get through the gap. I'm hoping this piece might even see me all the way along, I'm not sure. And so I'm putting it through there to go around the ring, and then back through the loop like that, just to make a little knot there to anchor it. So holding that out of the way, going through the loop to go around the ring and up through that loop that I've made, like that. And when I got to the top centre point, I just left that loop a little bit longer to create the loop that I will hang it up by. So that's it. I'm going to work my way all the way around. I probably could have done these little knots closer actually, but I just was afraid of running out of the yarn that I'd coloured. I decided it was worth the effort of unravelling all of this yarn, so I just took each little piece and untwisted it, which has taken me quite a while. I've been sitting here for nearly an hour just doing that. It's probably taken me almost as long as it did to do the actual weaving part, but I'm really glad I did, because I just love the look of it. I'm really happy with how those colours are going in together now. I like the little skulls. All I need to do now is trim the ends. So I'll spread this all out. I've missed a bit. Look. Oh, I haven't done these. I'll have to get them in a minute. So yeah, all I've done is sort of untwist like that. Grab the yarn and do that. And that's all I've done to untwist it. So I've had to do that obviously about 60 times along here. So it has taken a little while, but I do think it's worth it. Let's smooth these all out, and then I'm going to trim the ends. I think I'll go to about there. There we go, it's all done now. Let's get my mug out of the way and see if I can manage to get a... Yeah, I think I'm going to have to try and get a photo to use from a thumbnail. I don't think that's going to work very well. What I might do is pop a photo in here so that you can see it, or you'll have seen it in the thumbnail. Very, very happy with that. I've really enjoyed it. I'm glad that I decided to kind of do my own thing with it a bit, add the colours and the little skull beads. And you could definitely add all kinds of beads, couldn't you? Or buttons or stones or anything in here. Really pleased with that. That will have a home in my craft room. I just need to find somewhere to hang it. I will leave links to Stitch Kit in the description box if you're interested in having a look at their boxes. The box that I'm using, I think I showed at the beginning of the video, there's loads in there. That's the standard box. There's also a smaller one, the quick box, and there's a big one, the luxury box. And you can get all of them as either one-off boxes or which you can also pre-order for next month, or you can save a bit extra and or quite a lot extra and go for a subscription. And if you do subscribe, you can cancel at any time, so there's nothing to lose really. Whichever way you do it, make sure you fill in the questionnaire with all your likes and dislikes and everything so that they can customise your books, especially for you. Please do share pictures in our Facebook group and Discord community if you get the boxes and if you're making things with these, and also in the Stitch Kit Facebook group, because if you do that, then you might possibly win a prize next month. That's it from me today. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm all like limbered up now and ready to start the proper main project, so I just need to decide what it is, and I'll be back with that really, really soon, so watch this space. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye.